Good afternoon, ladies and gents, boys and girls, and welcome to day number 1 of the StarLadder CIS RMR closed qualifiers. This is the starting stage, I would say, for some of these teams to be able to battle up against the, 5 other teams, the top 5 in the CIS RMR pool at this point. My name is Cody Cass. Joining me, as always, is going to be Sir Danny. It's a pleasure to have you on board. And, wow, it looks like we're all going to be jumping into the RMR standings. This is where all 10 teams in the points currently sit.
Yes, this is, of course, the RMR standings from the previous event, as well as obviously we witnessed quite a drastic turnaround. And, well, in all fairness, you cannot deny it. This current standing of the CIS RMR definitely tells quite a few storylines. And that is obviously the thing, that this is probably one of the most competitive RMRs that we have currently. And of course, here, undeniably so, Team Spirit, the #1 spot, obviously not too far behind them. We do have Na'Vi, Gambit Esports, VP. These are some really high-level opponents that, of course, are standing in a very good footing here at the CIS RMR, but we also have been seeing some really good teams crop up as well. I mean, I also remember that Entropic was one of the, I think, the first teams to actually beat Na'Vi in a best-of-3 in the CIS RMR, which was a very impressive victory on its own right. But of course, that's just Entropic. We've been seeing loads of upsets and a lot of these underdog teams having some really good runs of form.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, one of the teams that we're going to be seeing later today, well, in a few minutes' time, as a matter of fact, actually, ex-Marlian, not a team that I had heard of before they came into the last RMR event, the Epic League RMR event, of course. Didn't have the best run through that event, but they still were able to hold their own. I mean, some of the games were a little bit closer than people would have been expecting, and I definitely think some upsets occurred in that first RMR for the CIS region. Are we going to be seeing some more here as well? Of course, we've still got this closed qualifier stage before we get to essentially the big leagues, I would say, in terms of the main event. First group, of course, going to be joined by these 4 teams: Entropic, Khan, Nemiga, and ex-Marlian. This is actually going to be featuring the first game we're going to be seeing on stream today, Nemiga versus ex-Marlian themselves. We're looking forward to that one. I do believe we've got the Group B bracket as well, just so we can have a quick look into that, see who's on the other side of things. If you aren't aware of how this format works, this is a double elimination GSL bracket. So essentially, you play, well, as you can see on the left-hand side, your opening games. If you lose those, drop down to elimination bracket. If you win, straight up to the winner bracket final, and already have that opportunity to jump into the main event. But you lose your first best of 3, and it's going to be a bit of a tall order. You've got to battle up against the winners bracket finalists who lost, and then go through on that deciders match. It's going to be a tall order for either of these teams to be able to, well, really show their skills. But of course, we've got to have a winner at some point, Danny.
Yes, of course. And the interesting thing as well is that at least here in this RMR, or to be more precise, in this closed qualifier environment, it's a bit more lenient in that sense that 5 teams out of the 8 have the opportunity to qualify for the big CIS RMR. So absolutely, I mean, a lot of these teams here have got a really good chance to secure that spot for the next stage.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, just give you a rundown of the teams that are already qualified for the main event. They are your top 5 standings in the CIS RMR pool, so to speak. So Spirit, Na'Vi, Gambit, Virtus Pro, and Akuma. The other 5, so 5 to 10, essentially, get an instant invite to this closed qualifier bracket. So Nemiga being one of them, K23 being a second as well. And of course, we can't forget Fours and Entropic, who both had good showings throughout the first RMR of the year. So are they going to be able to actually qualify for the main event? Who knows? Still some games to go before we even need to start discussing that. But speaking about discussing games, speaking about discussing what's going on, you saw it on your screens a few moments ago, the 2 games that myself and Danny are going to be covering today. Nemiga versus ex-Marlian coming up around about 3 p.m. local time for me, 4 p.m. CEST. And then we've got K23 versus 100 Ping Gods a little bit later on. That should be an interesting game because there's not too much information we have on 100 Ping Gods. But of course, for this game, we've got a little bit more stats, a name which many people who've been following CIS will recognize in the form of Nemiga. Marlian, of course, again, as I mentioned earlier, not a name I'm too familiar with, but have had success in that CIS region. I'd say lower down the mark, though, if that's fair to say. Tier 2 pushing up to kind of that Tier 1 level. Is that fair to say, you think, Danny?
I would say on the side of ex-Marlian, the one big bump for them in terms of their ranking and current position in the world has been their performance in the CIS RMR. But I will say this though, in all fairness, on the side of ex-Marlian, I wouldn't regard them on the same level of Nemiga, though, as we'll notice as well, Nemiga haven't had the best run of form recently, but of course we do have the opportunity to jump into the vetoes, and I guess no surprises here, early ban coming in from Nemiga as they eliminate Ancient.
Damn, I wanted to see it. I do. I'm one of the people who enjoy this new map. I think adding something new to the pool is always a little bit spicy. I love that pro teams have been picking up this map as well. It's a shame we're not going to get to see it in this first best of 3, and well, something tells me we might not see it for the one later on as well. But we'll touch on that later. Inferno and Ancient getting banned out, not too surprised. Now, Dust2 being picked up here by ex-Marlian. This is kind of surprising to me. The fact that Nemiga have decided they don't want to play Ancient at all, but then they're happy to play Dust2, a map that currently ex-Marlian have a 75% win rate on. Of course, it's only over the 4 maps that we have, but their win rate on this map is only 27%. That's not good. That definitely leaves some things to be desired. So this first map could be a little bit rough for the Belarusian side. Second map, though, Mirage, kind of a standard map that we all are used to. Might have a little bit of a tall order here, Nemiga, if they aren't ready and prepared for this first map. This could be a 2-0 just off the back of the picks and bans. Vertigo and then Nuke being banned out and leaving us with Overpass, which is a hell of a map to kind of end it on. One of the maps which is, I would argue, one of the most balanced maps in the pool at this stage. So it would be good to see that as the third and final map, if we even go that far. Like I mentioned, this Dust2 pick from Marlian, I think they've been potentially handed a first map victory, but it all depends if Nemiga have been doing their research, doing their homework, and ensuring that they're not going to decrease that 27% win rate even further.
And the question is whether they still have the confidence. And for me, it looks like they do have the confidence here on Dust2, because fact of the matter is, this used to be a stronghold here for Nemiga. This used to be a map they really enjoyed playing in the past. And in all fairness, we have the 3 maps here, right? It's Dust2, it is, of course, Mirage, and it's also Overpass. All 3 maps in different iterations of the Nemiga roster were really solid for them. They were really good on all 3 maps. The fact that they do have here in the veto all these free maps, I think Nemiga is going to be somewhat happy about that. Though, as you say, their most recent run of form on a map like Dust2 has been horrid.
Yeah, I'm not beating around the bush there, Danny, are you? I think you're just going in for the kill. It's like, it's not great, is it? And let's be honest. I mean, while we're looking at statistics, while we're looking at what the 2 teams have been up to recently, if we touch on Marlian, of course, we mentioned they qualified through the open qualifiers, Open Qualifier 2, to be able to get to this point, which is great from them. They didn't drop a map in that entire open qualifier. Of course, we've now kind of stepped up a level when it comes down to the competitive play. As you mentioned, Nemiga and ex-Marlian, realistically, not on the same level as each other. Nemiga definitely have that more experienced roster than what the Marlian guys do at this stage, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to be a strong force to be reckoned with. Just this morning, as a matter of fact, playing in the semi-finals of Ukraine Cup, they were able to beat the DICE, the French roster, 2-0. So we know that they can be a dominant force when they need to, whereas Nemiga's recent form across the board, the RMR last time round, ESEA, just hasn't been great. A really rough ESEA season, and now they're actually going to be down in regulation as well. They went 2-6 across that premier season, so certainly not where they want to be. And you've got to kind of think that maybe this is looking to be a bit of a redemption story for them. They qualify through this stage, they get through to the main event, and then they kind of shut us up and say, hey, don't doubt us. Like, we know what we can do. We know that we're strong. We know that they're powerful. But right now, we've still got to kind of doubt what they've been doing recently. And this first game will potentially set the bar for that for the rest of the coast qualifier.
And I think there is reason to doubt Nemiga, because if we were to look back just a year ago, 2020, that was the year in which Nemiga finished third in the CIS RMR. That was, of course, also the start of the online era. I mean, Nemiga has been playing online CS for what seems to be forever. This core in particular, not really changing out the players. Of course, they do have a new player in the form of iDisbalance, as they picked him up, I believe, somewhere around April. But in all fairness, the core of this team has been playing together for a very long period of time. And just as 2020 comes up, we finally see a certain rise there in the side of Nemiga. They finally are in a position where they can contest some of the better teams. But yeah, these past 3 months or so have not been good for the team at all. They are, I believe, 55th currently in the world rankings. That is because, like you said, they've lost a lot of games. They've been finishing at the very bottom of a lot of these tournaments. Like you mentioned at ESCA, they've only managed to win, what, just the 2 games?
It was just the 2 out of the 8, yeah, which is kind of disappointing, if I'm honest. Nemiga, they have a roster here that can do damage, that can win games consistently, but it just hasn't been showing up, and it is kind of sad. And something you touched on, Danny, the fact that they came third in last year's CIS RMR points, that would have been made so much more if the Rio Major happened, right? Because that would have given them a direct qualification spot to that point. We would have seen them offline, but of course, with that being cancelled due to pandemic, which of course, who can control it? No one really. These things happen, and realistically, you need to adapt to the circumstances. You need to adapt to everyone else around you catching up to the point where they are now also online teams. And it doesn't look like Nemiga's been able to do it, unfortunately. Maybe this is the turning point now. Who knows?
Perhaps, because they also have those great individuals on their side. One of the very surprising factor has been Lollipop. I mean, ever since the inception of this roster, I even still remember him playing at this other Belarus lineup. I believe it was by the name of Good Job back in 2017. He was fragging out
that's
then.
That's casting your mind back a bit. Dear Lord, how do you still remember that? Yeah, no, you're right.
But the reason being is because he was good then, and he's still good now. That's the great thing about Lollipop. He has been a very consistent member on the side of Nemiga. And luckily for him, you know, some of the other members have also been able to step. It's JO, it's the players like iDisbalance that could potentially shift the tide in the favor of Nemiga. That's the one thing you really expect with iDisbalance coming into this roster. But it's not like ex-Marlian are, yes, they are a fresh and young roster, but it's not like their individuals are incapable of fragging. I mean, 16-year-old Wrinkle has been regarded as, you know, probably the best player on that side. He has been able to put up some really good performances in the previous RMR, in some of the most recent tournaments as well. That's probably a kid you definitely want to keep your eye on the nearby future.
It really upsets me that kids at the age of 16 are playing CS better than I ever will. I'm getting on. This guy is almost 10 years younger than me, and he's just absolutely destroying on the server. So, yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, this is a relatively newer roster in the ex-Marlian guys, but they're 44th in the world right now. Like, if that's a new roster, realistically, without that high-end experience already, like pushing towards that 30th in the world, that top 30 position, get a couple of years under their belt. Wait until Wrinkle becomes 17, 18, and the rest of the team continue to develop even more. What are they going to be doing on the scene? Not only for CIS, but in general on the international stage. There's a lot of promise for this roster, provided that they can perform in these early days, get some more eyes on them, get a roster to pick them up as well, of course, after them transitioning away from being with Marlian and now just forming essentially what is a mix at this point, right? They haven't got a roster underneath their name. They're staying together as a 5, which is good, but they need to get representation, I feel like. So anyone out there looking for a CIS team, watch this game and watch Marlian's progression through this. I feel like they might need to be on your eyes, because this is a strong young roster as well. So prime for development.
For sure, and on the CIS market as well. Right now, with a lot more opportunities opening up, with a lot more teams being available, and perhaps looking for some better players, they definitely have an awesome opportunity to perhaps look at some of the lower teams of the CIS region and pick out some of the better players and perhaps take them along for the ride to the big leagues, to the big tournaments. That's the one thing that's definitely exciting for the CIS region heading into 2021.
Yeah, I mean, all of these RMRs, right? It's a huge opportunity for everyone. They're open qualifier spots to be able to get into the events, then go through the closed qualifiers, and then, well, within a few weeks' time, you're playing against Navi. I mean, you can't really give people more opportunities than that to be able to play up against tier 1 teams from an open qualifier event. Essentially, you just need to make sure that you're stepping up to the plate and actually dealing the damage where it needs to be. We do apologize a bit about the delay, guys, just waiting for the server to be ready for all the players to essentially pick up their mouse and keyboards, clean them off, make sure there's nothing distracting them, so we can actually get into this game. I'm hyped for it though, Danny. I'm really looking forward to this. Early on, do you have any predictions for this one? Who are you backing?
Sure. In terms of predictions, I'm probably still going to have to go with Nemiga. I will say the experience factor should be able to win out against the ex-Marlian side, even though in terms of ranking, they seem to be the better team. But I will also say this, it's because Nemiga quite recently has had a horrid performance. It just hasn't been a really good past few months for them, in all fairness. And I do believe right now, heading up against a proper CIS opponent, this is where Nemiga should be able to strive, because there was a moment in time in which Nemiga, they would be able to beat some of these CIS teams, the lower CIS teams, which for sure, if you're coming out from this region and you want to have those better opportunities, perhaps climb through the rankings, one of the most crucial things is just try to beat the teams below you. That's going to be somewhat difficult. And right now, in the current CIS landscape, it's also not just, these just random mixed teams. They're doing whatever they want, pushing through smokes and whatnot. No. That is not the case. A lot of these CIS teams, even at the lower caliber, have also been putting in the time into the strategies, into the tactics. They're not just running around like headless chickens. I think in this matchup as well, we're going to notice that, ex-Marlian, a team that you probably have really heard of or have seen them play too much, that they can play some really good, cohesive Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a testament to the CIS region in total, right? And that's kind of what you were saying. The fact that even the lower down teams, even these teams coming through the open qualifiers for events that, sure, might have got knocked out at the early stage and not have an opportunity to be able to come on through to this point, they've still got all of those executes. They've still got incredible game sense. So while we're not going to be seeing them here, we are seeing a relatively newer roster in the ex-Marlian side taking on what it was last year, one of the Titans of CIS. It's Nemiga, sorry, versus ex-Marlian. It's Dust2, our first map. Pistol round going to be underway. Utility being deployed. MDS spots down one, though, taking down Crota. Now going to be looking for the peak. Spots out all four of them. The rotate call's been made. Box picks up two. The taps continue from the USPSs, and it all falls apart. Box with a 3K. MDS with the 2. First round goes to the way of the CTs.
Oh, it's always such a difficult task for the terrorists to move on the B bomb site, especially if there are players on the other side of the B side, holding it from plateau, holding it from the default position. You almost have an impenetrable fortress that you have to go up against. And in the case of ex-Marlian, they were dispatched of quite quickly, though this being the second round, no force buy. But it looks of things, it's going to be your standard, simple, run-of-the-mill eco.
I'm surprised by this. I mean, the meta has definitely shifted to what I would describe as a bit of a deco buy. The fact where you just buy deagles up into the round and maybe a single scout. Just look for those body shots. I mean, we do see a single deagle being picked up by Curvza himself, but I don't know if it's enough. I mean, hey, if you can find the heads, by all means, but it's 5 players to find. All of them are fully automatics. It's MP9's on 3 and M4 on box, of course, with his lovely 3K, and Jo gone for the suppress route. Mid control now being gained by this T side, but still no opening pick found. A little bit of a fight out long doors with 1 minute and 5 on the clock now. The T's do need to make a play, and it looks like they're still undecided if they want to push through CT or go straight towards the B site.
I guess right now they're just trying to make sure Nemiga run out of utility as well. Running down the timer for as long as possible. You're going to notice that some of the Nemiga players have wasted utility, precious dollars, in nowadays economy. And in the case of ex-Marlian, it looks like it's going to come down to the same old attempt on the B-bomb side. MVS, perfect angle with the MP9. In fact, it's going to be Box racking up a nice 4K.
It's round number 2 and he's 7-0. This is a one-man show from the Nemiga roster. Of course, with that full save that we saw, with the exception of that Deagle, we are now going to be seeing fully automatic rifles across the board for the T side of ex-Marlian. It's AKs on 4, a Galil on 1 as well, and it's a bit of a standard split here, 3-2. Still got someone holding inside a mid, bomb down in T-Spawn. MDS, though, impatient, it would seem, was thinking. I could see the little cog in his head, thinking about pushing into tunnels, but thought against it. Nikita looking for that opening pick, deals damage onto Lollipop, but no frag to be found as of yet. Tagged down to 51 HP. The spam continues. Lollipop is really just taunting death at this point. 16 HP and now just has to run.
He's definitely playing a dangerous game there, Lollipop. It's a good thing he remains with his life intact, even though I'm not sure if the bullets will be covered by his insurance. Ooh, look at the nade damage coming in as well. Some nice nades here from Nemiga. Looks like your standard run-of-the-mill boost, native.
Ooh.
Not seeing anyone just yet, though.
Disbalance is trying to play that long angle from Goose. Of course, as we can see, no big upgrades here from Nemiga, considering they didn't lose anyone in the previous round. Just want to build that CT economy just a little bit more, which is ever so hard to find these days. Disbalance waiting for that flash and waiting for the push, most likely. Gio going to be the first person to throw it, though. Nikita not fully whited, but still in a position to be able to get taken down. That's exactly what we see. He picks up Disbalance for the first kill. Gio trades it back instantly. Now the push onto the site, and the AKs are just doing work. Box is here, though, to try and clutch the round back. As the bomb goes down, he falls down as well. 39 HP to his name. The M4's been reloaded, head ripped off his shoulders. Now on a 2 versus 3. Certainly not the best round that we could have seen here from Nemiga, but either way, they're calling it as they sit. It is going to be a save. Lollipop somehow is still in this round, by the way. I mean, after that initial peak, he's just been, okay, I'm just going to hide. There's no need for me to get involved. I'm going to save my full armor. I'm going to save my diffuse kit and make sure nothing else happens. It's going to be 2-1 here. Pretty nice execute there from Marlian.
Yeah, not too shabby. The good thing for ex-Marlian as well, entering the A-bomb site. As they go in for the push, some of the players on the side of Nemiga still with SMGs. We saw Disbalance going for the very wide swing there from Goose, and of course, he gets shut down. He's an easy target there for ex-Marlian with the AK-47s. And as the retake has to come in as well, it's the SMGs. If you're a Lollipop, you have to move in from long with just 18 points of health with the MP9, not the best choice in that sense. So great stuff here for ex-Marlian, that's for sure.
I think it just doesn't happen, right? The second you drop down that low, you either get baited or you just hide and save the rest around, essentially. A lot of commitment here when it comes down to utility for a long, but of course, as we can see, only a single man going there for the T's. This AWP on Disbalance gets to find anything as it's playing kind of a standard A-long position, waiting for that push through double doors, and a lot of util being deployed here for Marlian as well. Just be able to gain as much mid-control as possible, and well, there's no one from the CT side on Nemiga to actually stop them at this point.
This is the one thing I was talking about earlier. Even in a matchup like this, expect utility usage. Ex-Marlian using the flashbangs, using the smoke grenades as well, making sure that they're going to go up against Nemiga, they're going to go for the aim duels, but they have all the utility that's necessary to back them up. Nikita, though, has to be very careful right now in the long position. Luckily for him, he evades certain death, but for ex-Marlian, 45 seconds, there we go. The mid-push coming in.
Ooh, I think that was just called incorrectly there. Double smoke into CT, one wasted, but either way, they're going to start their push. MDS holding on to the site. Ooh, not holding on to it for much longer, though. Owner pushing straight through the smoke, finds him in it, gives him a couple of love taps with the AK. Bomb is going to go down now, and, well, it's a little bit too far of a walk for Nemiga for them to full rotate all 3 players round towards the B site, and the fact that no one's been taken down from Marlian yet, they are just going to allow the T's to level the playing field, bring us to a 2-2, and hold for any of these exits they can find if Marlian go hunting. I wouldn't recommend it.
No. I would definitely be on the side of trying to save the weapons and trying to build up that economy. But they also realize the importance if they can get rid of these rifles on the side of
Yep.
Nemiga. And you can also see the positioning here. Ex-Marlian very much aware that there are a few players
Oh,
here on
really?
this side. Jo, can he survive? I suppose the answer is yes. I definitely wanted to go for the with the rhyme on nay. The answer is nay, but oh well. Fact of the matter is, Nemiga saved weapons, and of course, they still have just enough money to go in for the reinvestment.
Yeah, being able to save 3 weapons and, of course, armor in that previous round does help them out and allows them to be competitive as we move into round number 5. There's still no AWP buy up here from Marlian. Wrinkle does not want it right now. Speaking about AWPs, though, we finally see it make an impact. Disbalance finds that kill, even though completely whited. Gets himself on the board and now holds a little bit more of a passive angle back towards Goose. Awaiting T approaches from A long, which is still yet to come at this point. The T's not overextending in positions where they don't need to, just going to be hunting for that opening frag. Once they get that, I think that will then decide where they push from. MDS, the only person holding on this B site once again. He's been the anchor player for this site and, well, didn't work out last round. This time round, though, will he have some more success? A minute on the clock now. Marlian do need to make a play. MDS is going to be hoping but that play is not towards his site. Molly goes in to be able to help out from mid as he gets flashed, but the time ticking down, MDS might just re-molly that.
Molly coming in here from Krivda as well. That flushes MDS from position, but look at this right now. 35 seconds on the clock, and
God,
MDS is playing close by the smoke grenade. In fact, in between the two smokes. Dangerous setup here from MDS, but it could give him the round. The players move in. It's going to be Box with 2. Massive frags picked up right now. Ex-Marlian, though, not aware of the flank from J.O.
Okay,
Wrinkle.
that was clean. Really, really nice from Wrinkle. Maybe there's an opportunity for the T sides here, but they need to be clean about it. Box 3k to his name, but no more to be gained. 5 seconds remaining on the clock, but Wrinkle just can't find that frag. Lollipop rushes on through and ensures he gets himself on the board with a frag as well. Clutching out the round there for Nemiga. They take the lead once again. That's what we like to see from them. Good retake.
And J.O., beautiful positioning as well. The fact that he moves in the tunnel so rapidly, and yet the players of Ex-Marlian also aware of the incoming push. Definitely quite the satisfying of that end that he ends up dying, but really nice attempt from his part. And so, as we can see, Dust2 seems to be quite the competitive affair. We might see the competitive here. There between Wrinkle as well as I disbalance, though. Lollipop first man in. That's a good frag.
Native taken out of the round. The trade instantaneous there from Owner. Not getting caught by the flash. Wrinkle going to be trying to take some form of short control, of course. Nobody as close as he would like right now. J.O. thinking about going for a peek. I mean, we know that if he goes for it, he's going to get taken down. And Nade, just for good measure, it barely skims him. Flash goes in. Joe's on this off angle. Wrinkle taking down this balance. He might go for the swing here. He is going to. Takes down the bomb. Looks for the second in the form of the AWP as well. He's been tagged through the smoke from inside the lower tons. Nade goes in, runs for the hills, recovers the AWP, and well, just allows the bomb to stay where it is right now. 55 seconds on the clock. Molly goes in to be able to stop it being recovered, but wow, all of this has been going on. Owner on the rotate. Are they going to be expecting it? J.O. Oh, the timing. So unfortunate from him. Got to repeat it. But he's still going to be able to find that lurker in the form of Owner. Has to fall back just a little bit more. Bomb recovered. Now the B site completely open. We do see the rotate back round from MDS, but just dropping that bomb at the wrong moment, it would seem. We're in the wrong position, should I say. Means this round could all be but over for Marlian. 25 seconds on the clock. Unless they make it quick towards this A site, there's not a chance. No. Curves are just going to be holding in the corner. They realise that their opportunity, their window, has now closed. They are going to be saving for the rest of the round.
Yeah, the closure really comes in, I'd say, at the very end, because that one smoke. The one smoke in the tunnels, if it doesn't arrive, I'd say if you're Ex-Marlian, you're still going to attempt the push on the side. But once the smoke grenade comes in, you realize if you move in through the smoke and you have no vision, and if there are players on the B-bomb side, you're basically a goner. So that point, for sure, go for the save, keep the weapons at bay. Right now, the economical situation is going to be a little bit awkward on the side of ex-Marlian, but look at this. A straight-up reinvestment. AWP still in the hands of Wrinkle. Keep an eye on this guy. That's the 16-year-old talent that has had some really good performances in ex-Marlian, a really good rating as well.
So continue that in this game as well. Of course, 2 of the 5 players for the ex-Marlian squad down onto pistols right now. A tech for Nikita. Deagle for Ona. Ooh, I think Nikita did get some information there. Just off the back of the jump peaks. Ona going to be trying to get some form of mid-control here. He's lurking around, being the first person through as the smoke gets plumed towards CT. The flash goes out as well. Jo holding, waiting for some form of audio cue. Or waiting for the smoke to fade. The bomb is still down in T-spawn right now, though, so all of this ground that's being made might be undone by someone having to rotate round. We are seeing Nikita fall off of his angle towards A long, situating himself now towards that B site with the rest of his teammates. But it needs to be utility to be able to take this site, which the T side have none of at this point. They're going to be going in dry, and an AWP peeking like this is probably not going to go down too well. Box looking to defend the initial push. Native, though, finally on the board, finds his first frag of the game. MDS still anchoring on the site, swings on out, takes down Native, spots down 3. Wrinkle picks him out of the round, though. Now in a 3 versus 2, and, well, Nemiga looks like they're still going to be going for this one. They're confident in their own abilities. I mean, it's going to be a rough round either way in round number 8, so might as well try and hurt the opponent's economy just a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go for this one. They realize one important piece. That's Wrinkle with AWP. Especially in that hit on the B bomb. So the surprising thing is the members of ex-Marlian, the ones that were in middle, they are actually attempting to go for the push, while it's the free members still in the tunnels. They've been smoked off, they have no vision, and they can't really push. And the important piece of that commitment was the AWP on the side of Wrinkle. You were hoping for Wrinkle to be the first man of contact. He might potentially find a frag on plateau, maybe on someone playing passive on the default position, but as it ends up being the case, ex-Marlian's players in middle do most of the heavy lifting, and from there on out, the elimination of Lonesome MDS, not a big problem. Ex-Marlian, great round being picked up, and Nemiga, you can see that was definitely not the round they were expecting to lose. In all fairness, the 2-man setup should have been enough to deal with ex-Marlian.
Just fell apart at the last moment. Oh, very, very close. Almost collat there from Wrinkle. As we see now 3 players situated over to the left-hand side of the map. This balance going to be holding mid with that AWP. MDS and Box, of course, as they have been for these last 8 rounds, still holding this B-bomb site. This balance completely flashed, has to fall back into CT. Has he given up his position? No, I don't think so. Peeks hits the shot onto Ona, who gets caught on the double doors. Smoke going to go down to be able to ensure that doesn't happen again. Native whips the flash as well, flashes his teammate. It's all fallen apart a little bit in this round, I think, for Marlian. Some unfortunate timings. This round falls away. Yeah, they have to execute quick on this B site now, right, Danny?
That's for sure. I'd say they have to be quite careful about this one as well. The big question is the AWP in the side of Ida's balance. Where is it? They're not aware of it just yet, but right now MDS prime position with the UMP could deal the damage. The players are moving in. After the first one from MDS, he goes in for more with the UMP. Massive frags. Now Wrinkle, he has dispatched of the players, but as he tries to go in for the bomb plant, there are 3 players on the side of Nemiga that are getting dangerously close towards the site. The bomb gets planted, but there are 3 players to find, and there's the first.
Oh, Wrinkle wins this.
He's waiting for the 2 players as well. This balance still spotted out. Wrinkle is running out of bullets, and he's running out of lives. That's a nice little peek coming in from Nemiga. They scrape by with a victory, but that was in no way, shape, or form an easy win.
No, certainly not. Of course, B-site on Dust2. claimed as one of the hardest sites to retake. And when you're smoked off, when there's a strong AWPer holding you down, knowing exactly where your two players are, it's going to be very, very hard to be able to take it. But Nemiga, they played it well. Forced that whiff on the initial shot. Forced him to reload the AWP and then play into a less advantageous angle than he would have liked. Does then get taken down, and Nemiga take a 5th round due to it. Now down to pistols for the first time in a while, ex-Marlian. Potentially just going to be looking for a couple of easy frags, maybe a saved weapon, or just hurt the opponent's economy, but something a little bit different from Nemiga here as well. As Box, instead of the rifle, has gone for the AWP. Double setup in this round.
Well, this is a peculiar choice. On any other round, for sure, double op setup, Dust2, long range angles, go ahead. This time, though, the fact that you are going up against some of these players on the mirror pistols, they're going to be mobile as heck. And you have to be very careful about that mobility because the Deagles can definitely do a lot of heavy lifting if they're precise enough. And in the case of this round, we'll see how this balance is holding the angle, waiting for the players, but Owner, massive pickup, JO gets taken care of. Lollipop has to come in though, gets himself the 2!
How is this happening? What is going on here? I mean, there's weapons to be recovered. Owner at close range with a Deagle. It could have been brutal onto MDS, but not going to be the case. Native 25 HP to his name. Thamus in hand. Tries for the range stats, and when it drops one down low, Box somehow, some way spots the head of Native and takes him out of the round. It's going to be a 6th here for Nemiga, but that got a little bit too close for comfort. I don't think Marlian are going to be upset with that round. The fact they're able to bring it down to what was essentially a 2v2, hurt the opponent's economy just a little bit more, get a bomb planted, and, well, they're going to have a full buy off the back of it now as well with some change. While they're 3 rounds down, Marlian can, in their own heads, chalk that round up as a bit of a win.
I mean, it definitely wasn't a win in terms of the score, but really, that was a lot of damage. For sure. In all fairness, that was a good round for ex-Marlian. JO right now, gonna feel a lot more pressure. The players entering through.
So blind.
So blind, they couldn't see a damn thing, but now they're gonna see the grave because it's Lollipop on the other side. And now this balance is very much alive. Wrinkle, even though he has made his way out of Longhouse, in the pit position, he could be dangerous, but this balance gets the job done.
God, that angle must have been crisp. AWP versus AWP is always a fun situation, especially when there's a smoke between you that you can lurk around, use to your advantage on both sides, as a matter of fact, but ended before it really began in that situation. Deagles on 4 for Marlian once again. Wrinkle not wanting to buy up, wants to ensure he has the money for the AWP in the next round. Or, I mean, if he can pick up a kill here, or not, never mind. Disbalance says no. Kills him with his own AWP. Disbalance picks up another one here as well, in the form of Govda. MDS just hunting. I mean, it's an anti-eco round. Nemiga just need to try and find frags, not lose anyone. If they can keep all 5 players alive, this is a completely free round for them. Nikita's looking to do some damage here to Lollipop, but he whiffs every single shot. Now just owning a 1 versus 5. I mean, what can you really ask of him, to be honest with you? Not much, because he's got so many points of contact, and I don't think he spotted Lollipop, and Lollipop probably didn't spot him either. Just holding passive is the CT player. Waiting for the swing, spots him out, takes him down. A clean round there for Nemiga. Exactly what they needed. Can Marlian come back into this, though? It's 8-3. The half has been secured for Nemiga. If they don't win any more here, well, they're not going to be too pleased, but at least they have secured the first half as their own.
And one of the great things for ex-Marlian, those players, their initial entry frags, they were looking crisp early on. Right now, it does feel like they've run out just a little bit of steam. Crinkle, though, still the one player you expect to perform, but look at Box. He goes in aggressive in the lower tunnels, has no backup from his teammates. He gets the kill and backs away. That is perfect.
It's really, really nice from Box. How is no one holding mid for Marlian? They've been so consistent on getting mid control round after round. The one round they don't do it, and it causes a CT to just rush them through lower tons and essentially shotgun AWP somebody. Crazy read there from Box, who's having an insane game, to be completely honest with you. Started off second round, 7 frags to his name. I wonder what he's sitting at now. We'll have a look in a few moments' time. Marlian, a lot of ground to make up here. They need to bring this back to a level playing field, back to a 4 versus 4. They are putting all their eggs in one basket when it comes down to the A site right now, though. AWP in disbalance, just going to be holding. With the smokes going down, that is going to give up the jig. They know that it's going to be A now. Disbalance has time to be able to rotate round. Owner takes the first fight, though, takes him down, spots out Jo inside of CT, and now the push continues onto the site. The T's want to get this bomb planted as quick as possible. The CTs, well, realistically, need to retake this site in the next couple of moments, but bomb is down. They're playing with 40 seconds on the clock now. Rotate round from Lollipop could be huge, but Davida's looking for him. Hoping he can find the kill. Hoping he can find a kill, as a matter of fact. 0, 2, and 7 at this point. Wrinkle finds one. Jo with the trade straight away, though. There goes your AWPer. Now on a 2 versus 3. Man advantage goes to the way of the CT side. And it's still 1-man advantage, but the T's have lost one of their own. MDS peeks the angle. Nikita's been spotted down. Now needs to go for the wide swing. There's an AWP there, though, and Box says, no, you're not going to stop my teammate from defusing this one. It's a 9th round for him. I think maybe even a double AWP save once again. Yes, it is.
Keeping on to the double hop setup is really important. In this map in particular, you can see how effective it can be. Yeah, especially on that CT side, because you can have the one player overlooking B plateau. He can actually just be the one and only player holding that B bomb site. The other players can just focus towards middle or perhaps holding on to long early on. In this case, though, early free-man setup here from Nemiga to hold on the long, but luckily for them, no point of contact. They would not have to go for any engagements just yet. On the side of ex-Marlian, looks like things have slowed down quite a bit, and I'd say on Dust2, definitely shouldn't be slowing things down too much. It is still a map in which you can have these fast-paced rotations. You can go in for the quick executes. But ex-Marlian right now, feeling a lot more pressure from Nemiga. Oh, and how can it be any other way? Box in middle. Perfect kill.
It's 15 and 5. That is just a great performance. 126 ADR at this level of competition. Box is doing fantastically. He's been the staple B anchor with, well, what seems to now be transitioning round to a mid-peaker. Going for those aggro plays, and it's certainly hurting the confidence of Marlian. Native, smoke there, and well, MDS has an idea. MDS knows. Spams him through. Jo getting taken down by Owner. A no-scope there from Box as he essentially lines the gun barrel up with the side of his opponent's head and says, well, goodbye. No more for you. 4 versus 1 now for Owner, who spots the gun barrel of the York, but Box is better on the wide swing. It's double digits now for the CT side of Nemiga. Only 2 rounds left in this first half, and it leaves a lot for Marlian to be desired, considering this was their map pick as well, remember.
Yeah, but as I was talking about in the pregame as well, on the side of Nemiga, sure, these past 3 months on a map like Dust2 have been pretty awful. I think it's, 15 maps they've played, and only it's about a 27% win rate.
Yeah.
It's not great. It really isn't. But Nemiga, they have experience, and you can see the experience factor coming into play. And the confidence once again. An Owner. Very interesting peek coming in from him, but he's quicker than Lollipop, who goes about running and gunning. It's a good start. That's the one thing ex-Marlian needed desperately to try and get some map control, and not only that, it's the first kill that goes their way.
Disbalance looking to ensure that momentum. Doesn't go much further for the T side, though. He's going to be on an early peak here and, well, hasn't been affected by any of the flashes. Lines up almost a couple of them, as a matter of fact. Wrinkle going to be taken out of the round. Owner now pushing on through. Jo holding here. Spots out one at range. Spams him down. Finds Owner as well through the smoke. Now going to be looking for at least one more. The former Curved on the site. Curved finds another kill, but Box very quickly with the trade. It's the 14th round that goes to the way of Nemiga. It's 11-3 at this point. Nemiga looking for a 12th here, and I'm going to be honest with you, Danny, I feel like they're going to get it. This has been an incredible CT side.
It's been amazing. It's been great for some players like Box, who is, if there is one speciality he has on his team, it's the fact that he can go for the aggressive plays, and if he has the confidence, he's going to win them out 100% of the time. Though this one, I think, is a bit too much here, Box, as looks like,
It's not too much at all. Come on, this is Box we're talking about, Danny. You seen the rounds he's been having? Amazing shot there to take down Wrinkle, but he does eventually get traded back by Owner. Smoke goes down, another shot from him. This is what we need to be seeing from this T side. Great opening frags here from Owner to be able to open up this B bomb site. The peekaboo, there comes MDS, but he wasn't expecting the lurk through the tunnels. Owner, does he have a feeling he can see this balance there? I think he does. Is there a gun barrel he can see? No, there's not right now, but he's still going to be going for the CT push. Here's the drop, sees the head, takes him down. It's looking like an 11-4 scoreline. But Lollipop says not yet. 74 HP to his name. A 1 versus 3. The B-bomb site, an incredibly hard site to take, but it doesn't even get that far. Gets into mid. Native takes him down. It's the end of the first half, Danny. And Marlian looking to come back.
I mean, thanks to Owner, ex-Marlian avoid bankruptcy, but it's still just the 4 rounds here. The 4 rounds on T-Side Dust2. It is going to be a very difficult task to try and acquire any more rounds, if I'm being honest, because on the T side right now, Nemiga should have a really good run of form. If there's anything you should be expecting on the side of Nemiga, is those individuals stepping up. And on a map like this, too, commonly known as somewhat of the more simplistic maps in the Counter-Strike map pool, and it is because it's one of those maps in which your players can have a tremendous performance, not just on the first half of Dust2, but on the second half as well. Balance, good start though, early on. They eliminate Wrinkle. That's the one player you expect to perform on the side of ex-Marlian.
The site is completely open. Marlian have not done a great job of defending this one, and well, I think it was Zonic that said that 11-4 is one of the most deceiving scorelines in the entirety of Counter-Strike, because there's so many opportunities for a side that is, well, only has 4 rounds to their name to be able to come back the second they swap over, but I don't think I agree with it this time round, because Box is looking for 2 frayers inside of mid. Curved is going to be able to pick up 1, and well, that takes him up to 4 kills in this game so far. Disbalanced with that recovered USPS, is able to take down one of his own. MDS picking up Owner as well, and now on a 2 versus 4. Nikita, run for the hills. That's all you can do right now. It's a 12th round for Nemiga. And Marlian need to have a more decisive A site hold, because one player died and there's no one else there. There was no one long, there was no one mid, there was no one in a position in CT to be able to push on through, there was no one Goose. It was completely devoid of CT attention. They need to do better when it comes down to the defense, and well, they're looking to do a little bit more damage in this round. A double scout setup with Deagle surrounding them. This could be a turning point if they can keep enough people alive.
This is scary for ex-Marlian. The Force Spike comes in, though I like the one addition here. It is the scouts. Yep. Or in this case, the 2 additions here. They can be lethal. Right now, it's been more than common to pick up the double scout setup on a map like Dust2, especially on that second round Force Spike if it comes to it. Native, of course, holding the scout, waiting for the players to come in, but also look at where the other scout is positioned. It's also here on the A-bomb site. If Nemiga eventually decide to hit this A site through long, it's gonna be dangerous. Oh, believe it.
Marlian are putting all the eggs in one basket once again. This time they're committing towards the A-bomb site, but I mean, Nemiga have not fully committed here to A. They can chuck a couple of smokes down and then rotate straight down to B, and there's realistically not be anyone stopping them, but they are still going to think about this push. A couple of swings there to be able to tap down Wrinkle to 50 HP. He's just spamming through the smoke, waiting for someone to peek on through. It's just not going to happen at this point, but we now hold. We now wait. So Nemiga decide they want to slow the round down after that quick peek. Hasn't really turned into anything. Nikita flashing long once again as the smoke's plumed to be able to block off a CT hold. There's a boost there to help out as well. They're not going to find any damage on these Ts. Nikita there finds the body of one, but it's going to be Curved who finds the kill. Wrinkle picks up another one here as well, and it's a 2k there from Jo as he swings his head straight on through, picking up those kills. Curved are now 1v3 in this situation at least. He picks up one. Now on a 3 versus 2 situation for Marlian, they're looking good here. If they can pick up a couple more kills, they've got the round secured. Even one more, I think, will essentially save it for them. Wrinkle's going to be on the early peak. It just needs to be a body shot onto MDS, and he finds it. Jo now 2v1, and it's not going to work out for them. Marlian, it's a good round. They've secured the round. Brilliant. I think they needed one more person alive. Saving 3 AKs is so much better than 2, but they're going to be able to take the rifles through to the next round. They get a 5th, Danny. Maybe there's a chance. Maybe there's a chance of Marlian to come back into this game. I don't know.
Well, this time the stack works out perfectly for ex-Marlian. I was really hoping for the scouts to find just a bit more impact. The double the double scout setup towards long, the players from Nemiga coming in from long. I thought this is going to be the perfect storm for ex-Marlian to potentially deal the damage and eventually to win the round. But as it ends up being the case, ex-Marlians, it's the Deagles that do most of the heavy lifting, and Nemiga, as they entered the site, it's definitely
Wrinkle,
a hectic push.
doing?
Oh, Wrinkle.
That is aggro. That is very, very aggro. Jo just wasn't expecting an AWPer to essentially be staring him lovely in the eyes for a couple of moments, but he finds the kill either way. Owner on this CT boost. I mean, it's pistols, right? You can't really expect too much, but they are Deagles, and that can happen. Box on top of the box gets his head ripped clean off. Native picks up one more as well. With the bomb down now on Cat, they have no idea where it is, the CT side, but now they do. Wrinkle finds one more, looking for a third, gets exactly that. Does just leave MDS in a 1 versus 4 situation. Wrinkle's going to whiff one more, but I don't think he's going to whiff that final shot if he gets it, because Native on the lurk finds the kill either way. It's 12-6 now. Marlian clawing back some of these rounds.
Well, the 12-6 could also be quite a deceiving scoreline. As you'll notice, Nemiga, they have just enough money to reinvest, that's for sure. But if they end up losing this round in particular, the next few rounds should be quite good for ex-Marlian to at least make the scoreline 12-8. So for Nemiga, one round is here out in the hands of Idis Balance, which is, I'd say, peculiar pickup, but I definitely want to see the scout be utilized a bit more in Counter-Strike, because imagine if the scout on the side of Idis Balance, even though it does not get the kills, but deals the damage on at least 2 players.
Shots,
yeah, the body shots. 30 HP for just 2 guys, suddenly those AK-47s and those Galils can be a lot more impactful. In the case of Nemiga, it looks like the scout is not going to find a lot of action. If anything, it is the players with the rifles that are picking up the pace. Box, trying to gather the information, trying to spot out the players, and by the looks of things, trying to be a human decoy.
I mean, yeah, it would seem like it, because I can tell you for certainty, none of those shots were aimed. He just really disliked that wall that he shot into there. That was just random, sporadic, hoping he can catch a head, maybe, but I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, it's a really early smoke. They've spammed out all that information, and now what? They have to re-smoke it and now peek it again? I mean, Marlian haven't shown their hand at all. JO's going to be peeking up once again, can't spot anyone out. They have no idea if anyone's on this A site. Owner's been so patient here. Wrinkle going to be holding from long, hits that first shot onto Jo. High flash over now as well. We might be seeing this peek from Zeus, and then you've got to be seeing the exact same thing happen again. Box finding frags round after round. Owner not able to trade it out, and the bomb goes down. It was a round which I didn't think Nemiga were going to have much success in, but this site control has gone very, very well for them. Native picks up one inside of mid, brings that man advantage back towards the CTs.
Still a chance, a big one for ex-Marlian. They're trying to go for the retake, though. Idis Balance should have an easy time picking up the kill. Gets the job done, but look at this. That gives the opportunity for the other players to move in. Idis Balance, though. Massive frag picked up on one of these players, but now...
Oh, he waited the op shot! He's actually going to get it! Oh, okay, Disbalance. You know what? Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Isn't going to be able to get the AWP in time, but saves himself an AK. Nice upgrade. The 4K to clutch out the round. That was clean from Disbalance. I like that. It was perfect timing to be able to bait out that AWP shot, which gave him the opportunity to be able to spam down the bomb diffuser and then go for that final kill on the AWP, who, fortunately for him, whiffed his own shot. 13-6 now. Nemiga hoping to close this one away with only 3 rounds left. The buy from Marlian is bad.
Oh, it's not looking good at all, though. The one saving grace has to be the AWP on the side of Native. Oh, not a good start, though, Jo. Eliminates owner very quickly. So now that leaves just the 4 players, and of course, Native still with the AWP. Could be the difference maker, but he needs the players to come towards him because he's not going for any of the aggressive peeks. Because that's the one thing I was really hoping from Native. Perhaps he could peek out middle. Somewhere like the tunnels, he could find a frag, but nothing of the sort, though. Wrinkle is taking matters into his own hands, and there we go. Those hands are going to be bloody. The kill goes his way.
Finds box. He hides behind Xbox, as a matter of fact. Not going to work out in his favor. Wrinkle now on the long peak. Spots the head of Disbalance, but Disbalance says, I don't need your spam. Here's one bullet. Takes him out of the round. Now with that 2-man advantage on this site. What damage can they do? There's still a rotating player from Native, but he's making it slow. He needs to come quicker to level out the playing field just a little bit more. A boost up elevator maybe could work. Nikita picks up one with the trade there as Curved taken out of the round. FAMAS then going to be picked up by Nikita, and I think the call has been made to be able to save because Native just hasn't been in this round with that AWP. And, I mean, I'd be curious to see if he's fired more than 2-3 shots.
I mean, right now, the situation is that ex-Marlian are not having it easy. I mean, with a lackluster investment, just as the one we saw, you don't expect much. And if you do expect anything, it's that perhaps Native can be the difference maker. But if anything, yeah, 0 kills go his way. And of course, with that being said, it's another round for Nemiga. 14 for them. That is going to be a very good scoreline and something they can be very happy about. Which is something you can't really say about the ex-Marlian camp. Take a look at their economy.
In the bin, I think is the polite way to call it.
The bloody bin.
It's certainly not been a great game for them. I mean, you've got 2 players who are kind of stepping up in the form of Wrinkle and Owner. Everyone else on that side is under 10 kills at this point. I believe Nikita only has 4 to his name as well. So it's weird, though, because Marlian have already played a best of 3 today in another event. And it seemed like they were kind of awake, ready for it. But a different level of Counter-Strike, it would seem, because they just haven't been able to wake up fully. The first map of this best of 3. Maybe they're going to be able to perform a little bit better in our second map when we move over to Mirage in a few moments' time. But no B defense here from the CTs. Lollipop's going to be able to find that opening kill into Wrinkle. Just spots him out on the above of the smoke. But they gambled on A, and it hasn't worked out in their favor. Jo going to be looking for this kill onto Nikita. He gets spammed through the wall by himself and Lollipop. Owner taken down. Round's all but over. Native, he's probably going to get pushed here because there's a bit of an overbuy here for Nemiga, and well, the amount of flashes that come in, Native's going to be hunting for a couple of kills. He was blind for the first one, but he's still able to get it. MDS out of the round as well. Makes it a little bit more difficult for Nemiga, but they've got more than enough money for the buys. And now map point.
Well, 15-6. Ex-Marlian, if they want to pull this one back, they're going to have to pick up the 9 rounds in a row, and I'd say that's quite the task. They're definitely going to wake up on I'd say this is the wake-up call they needed heading into this second map. A cold shower here on Dust2. It's Jo, early peak, but it's also an early peak here from Wrinkle. Look at the aggressive maneuvers here from ex-Marlian.
Round after round.
It's a good start, though. Native, nice pickup, and they're not slowing down. Look at the push.
Wrinkle's really going in deep here. I mean, there's a cat peak, and then there's just rushing into T-spawn and essentially trying to backstab your opponents. No one's checking this at all. They have no idea this is about to happen. Is there going to be patience here from Wrinkle? There's not. No, he's just going to try and spam down the AWP. He gets it. Flash goes over, gets peeked onto the corner though. Jo punishes him straight away. They're going to allow the AWP to stay on the floor for a few moments. Molly goes in to be able to stop the push. It's not going to happen. The M4 taken down, and it's looking like this could be all but over because the buy isn't great. The utility, it's kind of there for the CT side, but they don't have presence on this A-bomb site right now. Lollipop needs to take down Owner as quick as possible. He's looking for an off angle here, and Owner's just not expecting it. Takes down Jo, but now in a 1 versus 1. The health advantage goes to the way of the T's. Lollipop with a more advantageous weapon. Has a flash available as well to be able to stop this plant. I mean, he's probably just going to hide inside a Gandalf. There's no need for him to be able to swing, but instead he tries it. Curveder ensures that this game is not over yet. It came down to a 1v1, and it's a team ace from Marlian. Every single player picking up a kill.
It's even surprising that it comes down to the 1 versus 1. Look at the positioning that ex-Marlian had. I mean, it was perfect. They pick up the early frag, I believe, in the lower tunnels or perhaps just in the tunnels. Then we see the push there from a player like Wrinkle. And you're thinking, right, this 2v5 should be going the way of ex-Marlian. But as we saw, the push there from Nemiga, taking over the A-bombs and then just slowing things down. Jo also picking up a massive frag there from Long. The fact that he waits there for as long as possible and only then moves in the A-bomb side. Perfect stuff. And still, ex-Marlian, they definitely cut it close, but they can have to win a lot more rounds, and I'd say you can't always just win it on the back of aggression. This round, we'll have to wait and see whether the defense can hold.
I'm just looking for aggression here. Wrinkle does take a bit of damage from that Molotov. Drop down 64 HP. Of course, doesn't really mean much up against AKs. They can still take you out with 1 bullet. Here from Box. He's going to be looking for this opener. But once again, there's just no aggression here from the CT side. They're playing incredibly passive. I mean, Disbalance has flashed himself and, well, they're just not able to find the kill. Owner and Nikita out of the round. There's presence on A long, but it's way too deep to be influential in this round right now. We see the rotate from the B players, but as the bomb gets planted and it's a 5 versus 3, I think this is all but over. Lollipop's holding great towards top mid to ensure he can communicate any rotates. If they come from the B side, Box picks up 1. Kavada's got a little bit more work to do here. Does find one of those kills, and, well, he clutched out the previous round. Is he going to be able to do this one as well? It's pointless holding around. Nade lands at his feet. 62 HP to his name. The bomb's ticking down. There's no kit on Curveder. It's all but over as Lollipop lurks around behind him. Takes him down with a clean shot to the back of the head. It's Nemiga who take that first map. Their opponent's map pick of all things as well. Dust2 goes their way. Wow, I mean, that was a lot more commanding from Nemiga than I was fully expecting, considering what we were saying in the pregame.
Yeah, they definitely had that experience factor heading into this one, and even though the past 3 months, their performance has been pretty bad on a map like this too, just in terms of their win rate. I mean, they showed up here and played some phenomenal Counter-Strike. I mean, it wasn't just the individuals having a great run of form. That's definitely a bonus factor. The fact that players like Box, like Jo, like Lollipop, they had a really good game. But in all fairness, I mean, that CT side hold initially just looked so good. There were some really good timings picked up there by the side of Nemiga, but it was also just some of that cohesion factor as well, some really good positioning, and it did feel like ex-Marlian would be able to put up a pretty good fight early on, but that was just early on. Ever since it was, I think, the 8-3 scoreline, it did feel like ex-Marlian just simply started to run out of steam.
Yeah, Marlian, they had that. You've summed it up perfectly, I think, Danny Sponsi. I was going to say the exact same thing. The fact that those first few rounds, we saw some really aggressive, really nice plays from ex-Marlian, those run boosts to be able to get over towards Cat straight away and then pushing out onto the A site. Every single time they've done that, they won a round. They had an opportunity to be able to really hurt Nemiga, but it just wasn't. It wasn't working after a couple of rounds, and then it seemed like they were running completely out of ideas. The wind fell from their sails. And then now they have to look toward their opponent's map pick of Mirage. Hopefully for them, they're going to be able to bring this to a 1-1 scoreline and we go to Overpass. But if not, it's going to be a quick 2-0 series. Guys, we're going to be chucking it to a short break. We'll be back very, very soon for our second map of this first best of 3 of the day. See you in a minute.